So fam, welcome to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. Let's go. In today's show, Bitcoin fails to recoup post-Fed losses as 20,000 Bitcoin price returns on the radar. In breaking news, the senator who said Bitcoin can open the doors of corruption in El Salvador was indicted for corruption by the federal prosecutors who seized 100,000 in gold bars and 480,000 in hidden cash from his home. Max Kaiser responded to this story. Gold is the poor man's Bitcoin. It encourages thievery, war, violence, excess stupidity, like Peter Schiff and Nassim Taleb, both who turned down my offer of free Bitcoin at $1 in 2011. Also in today's show, Bitcoin blast pass is 2021 all-time high in Argentina, but hyperinflation outpaces once again. We'll also be discussing Binance and CEO CZ asked the court to dismiss their SEC suit. I'll be breaking down this latest saga, as well as Bybit will suspend services in the UK following the financial regulators' final warning. We'll also be discussing Nic Carter doubling down on the theory the Bitcoin was invented by the NSA. We'll also be discussing major fund managers says the BlackRock ETF will drive the price to $1.5 million per Bitcoin as it literally unlocks $30 trillion worth of capital. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this, plus so much more in today's show. And a quick reminder, if you gain value out of today's episode, the greatest compliment you can give, simply smashing that like button as it helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. And if you're not already subscribed to the channel, you know what to do to receive daily premium crypto news alerts every single day, just like this. And welcome everyone just joining us. This is pod episode number 1409. I'm your host, JV. Today is September 22nd, 2023. Let's kick off today's show with our market watch as we do here every day. We can see Bitcoin back in the red, but holding on to 26,500 as support and checking out CoinMarketCap.com. The crypto market cap sits just above that $1 trillion milestone with roughly 22 billion in volume in the past 24 hours, with the volume down 25%, as Bitcoin dominance is currently at 49.1%, with the Ether dominance at 18.2%, as Bitcoin Dom has been dominating the Ether dominance, and I think it's likely to continue this cycle. But what are your thoughts, fam? And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers of the past 24 hours, lo and behold, the infamous Pepe coin that is rated number 100 is leading the pack, up 15% for the day, followed by Curve DAO token up almost 11%, trading above 49.5 cents, followed by Zilliqa up almost 4%, trading at roughly 1.7 cents. And checking out the top 100 crypto gainers of the past week, we have XRD up 7.4%, we got CRV up 11.7%, and FTT, the infamous scam token that Sam Bankman-Fried created on the FTX exchange, currently up 5.3%. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index, we're currently rated a 43 fear. Yesterday, 47 neutral. Last week, 45 fear. And last month, a 37 in fear. So there you have it, fam. How many of you have been taking advantage of this recent dip? Let me know. And now let's dive into the technical analysis for Bitcoin. Check out the charts and what is popping with the King Crypto. Bitcoin circled lower after September 21st Wall Street Open as 20,000 Bitcoin price predictions resurfaced. You got to keep in mind there's a CME futures gap at approximately that level as well. Now, data from Cointelegraph and TradingView covered a lackluster 24 hours for the price action of Bitcoin, with 27,000 fading from the view. The aftermath of the U.S. Fed interest rates pause offered a little for the Bitcoin bulls, having dipped almost $700 the prior day. Now, market participants returned to a more conservative outlook in the absence of the tangible volatility. Quoting Crypto Tony here, something like this over the course of October would be perfect, I would say. Slow grind up to 28,500, followed by hype and FOMO, fear of missing out, to then dump it once more. And then we have another analyst, material indicators, meanwhile eyeing a so-called death cross on the weekly chart. Quoting him here, the 21-week and 200-week moving averages are on a collision course for a death cross on the Bitcoin weekly candle close and open, it warned. Now, he also says that the 50-week moving average may provide some temporary support and even trigger a short-term rally, but if PA takes us there, it'll print a lower low, which I believe opens the door to a grind down to test 20,000. Let me know if you agree or disagree with the analyst. Now, also shares here, if there is a base case for hopium, it's that the FTX liquidators don't want to see much price erosion before they start distributing and may try to prop the price up for a little longer. That's purely speculative, but not out of the realm of possibilities. Now, another analyst, CryptoCon, shares the following. Doesn't get much simpler than this. Bitcoin early and late bull market is green. The bear market ends in the red. I mean, as he outlines here alongside this chart, and just as confident was fellow trader Jelly, who suspected a prime buying opportunity for prospective Bitcoin investors at these current prices, as he shares here on X. Historically, the post-bottom consolidation phase has been a great time to buy. I don't think this time will be different. So there you have it, fam. Now, Bitcoin trading at around 26,500 at the time of this recording, making September gains equal to roughly 2.5%. Still Bitcoin's best month since 2016 for the September. And per data from monitoring resource CoinGlass, Bitcoin delivered losses every single September since. So will this be the oddity this month of September, as we're still potentially in the green and we can end in the green? Let me know your thoughts, fam. Welcome to everyone in the live chat. Now, this was breaking news. Senator who said Bitcoin can open the doors of corruption in El Salvador was indicted for corruption by the federal prosecutors, seizing 100,000 in gold bars and $480,000 in hidden cash from his home. So Max responded to this con artist and wrote, "Gold is the poor man's Bitcoin. It encourages thievery, war, violence, and excess stupidity. Like Peter Schiff and Nassim Taleb, both who turned down my offer of free Bitcoin at $1 in 2011. Preach." And massive shout out to Max Kaiser, Stacey Herbert, and Nayib Bukele of El Salvador. So there you have it, fam. Now let's discuss this hyperinflation which continues to go on in Argentina as Bitcoin prices reach yet another all-time high in their country. Let's break this baby down, and shout out to all my fam in Latin America. I mean, we must continue to rise up. What will be the next Latin American country to adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender? Could it be Argentina? Could it be Mexico? Could it be Brazil? What's your thoughts, fam? Let me know in the chat. I'll read everyone's comments out loud at the end of the show. So here we go. Argentina has grappled with hyperinflation for several decades due to failed policies that have led to budget deficits. And as time marches on, the likelihood of Argentina, home to 47 million people, facing a full-scale currency collapse looms. But there are prospects for increased adoption of Bitcoin, given its outstanding track record when priced in the local Argentine peso currency. That's right. Throughout history, the Argentine government has frequently resorted to inflating the money supply through bank deposits or government bonds. And more notably, Argentina's aggregate money supply, the M1, comprising of currency, demand deposits, and other checkable deposits, have surged from 2.81 trillion pesos in July of 2019 to a staggering 10.66 trillion pesos, making a 277% increase in just 3 years. Just a reflection of what could happen to the US dollar, fam. Don't think it can't happen in your own backyard. Now, the Bitcoin price on domestic exchanges has soared to 19.6 million Argentine pesos, up from 14.2 million when Bitcoin reached its all-time high in the United States back in November of 2021. This means that despite the 61.5% drop from 69,000, investors in Argentina have still managed to accrue gains of 38% when measured in their local currency. And in this chart shows you the Bitcoin price in pesos at the Bitso exchange. Now, one may encounter a different result when consulting Google or CoinMarketCap for the Bitcoin price in pesos. Keep this in mind. The answer to the discrepancy lies in the official currency rate for the Argentine peso, which is more intricate than most investors are accustomed to. To begin with, there is the official rate, known as the dollar BNA, set by Argentina's central bank and used for all the government transactions as well as for imports and exports. Observe how the price in Bitcoin is in Argentine pesos, effectively traded on crypto exchanges, which is nearly double Google's theoretical price. This theoretical price is calculated by multiplying the Bitcoin price on the North American exchanges in the United States dollars by the official Argentine peso rate provided by their local government. This phenomenon is not unique to cryptocurrency. It also affects other highly liquid international assets such as stocks, gold, and oil futures. So by artificially strengthening the official rate in favor of the Argentine peso, the government aims to stabilize the economy, reduce capital flight, and curb speculative trading by making it more expensive to purchase foreign currency and store wealth in US dollars. This measure may also increase the cost of imports while boosting exports with the goal of improving the trade balance. However, it's important to note that manipulating the the official foreign exchange rate, as seen in Argentina's case, ultimately contributes to massive inflation and impedes their economic growth. Firstly, it creates incentives for the existence of an unofficial and unregistered market known as the dollar blue, which also fosters illegal activities, undermining financial transparency and discouraging foreign investment. This leads to varying exchange rates depending upon the market in which the transaction occurs and whether or not it involves the government as well as official banks. Now for the million-dollar question, is Bitcoin a reliable store of value for investors right now in Argentina? Let's discuss it. According to Bitso, exchange prices in Argentine pesos, Bitcoin has gained 150% over the 2 years ending September 21st, moving from 7.84 million pesos to 16.6 million pesos. However, the accumulated official inflation rate during this period had exceeded 300%, making it incorrect to claim that Bitcoin has been a dependable store of value. However, those who opted for US dollars, whether in the traditional form or in stablecoins, have seen their holdings increase by 297% during the same period, effectively matching the inflation rate. This analysis exclusively compares the 2-year period between September 2021 and September 2023, virtually the past 24 months. Now, nonetheless, the outcome is somewhat disappointing for Bitcoin proponents and is likely to favor the adoption of stablecoins in the region. But on a positive note, investors have had the opportunity to learn about the advantages of self-custody and scarcity, given that the local currency has been decimated by continuously inflating supply. So in the end, for Argentina's, as long as the US dollar maintains its purchasing power by keeping pace with local inflation, there is little room for Bitcoin to become the preferred store of value. So there you have it. How do you think this is likely to play out for Argentina as hyperinflation continues? Literally, as Tucker Carlson recently interviewed Javier Milei, pro-presidential candidate, who's currently leading the polls, and they say there's roughly a 77% chance that he becomes president, and there is the opportunity he adopts Bitcoin as the legal tender. He says when locals in Argentina go out to eat, they have to have stacks of money just to cover the bill because that's how bad their local currency has hyperinflated. So can Bitcoin save their economy? Literally over 40 million people. Let me know your honest thoughts, fam. I think it's only a matter of time and a sign of the times that Bitcoin is the answer to solve this economic crisis which continues around the world. And with that being shared, now let's break down our next story of the day, discuss the latest ongoing saga between Binance and their CEO CZ, as well as the SEC. I don't know why I put SEO here on the chart. We talking about search engine optimization or the Securities and Exchange Commission? Just saying. Anyways, according to a September 21st filing with the U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia, both Binance Holdings and CZ claim that the SEC overstepped its authority in the lawsuit against them. In the 60-page petition, the lawyers for Binance and CZ accused the SEC of failing to introduce clear guidelines for the sector ahead of its lawsuit against the crypto exchange. And as we know, it's the largest crypto exchange in the world, hence why they're probably being attacked. And as a result, had imposed its regulatory authority over the crypto sector retroactively, as outlined right here in this complaint. Quoting them here, the SEC pursues these novel theories retroactively, seeking to impose liability for sales of crypto assets that occurred as far back as July of 2017, before the SEC provided any public guidance concerning cryptocurrency. They also share it's clear that the SEC's lawsuit has no foundation in the currently enacted security laws. So more overreaching? What's your thoughts, fam? Lawyers for Binance also asserted that the regulatory fundamental misinterprets the security laws and their application to crypto assets. Quoting him again, in attempting to claim the regulatory power over the crypto industry, the SEC distorts the text of the security laws. And in addition to Binance and CZ's petition, the American outfit of the crypto exchange, which is Binance US, legally known as BAM Trading Services, also reportedly sought the dismissal of charges in a separate 56-page filing made on the same day. The SEC sued Binance and its affiliates on June 5th, pressing charges claiming Binance offers the sale of unregistered securities and operates illegally within the United States. The SEC's move against Binance came 3 months after the CFTC also sued Binance for failing to register with it and for breaking many of its guidelines, supposedly. Now, trading activity on Binance US has been hit hard as a result by the ongoing regulatory action against the exchange, with daily trading volume slumping more than 98% 30% from September 2022. On September 13th, Binance US laid off 30% of its remaining workforce, with its president and CEO, Brian Schroeder, also departing from the firm. So there you have it. I mean, it's obviously no joke when you have the CFTC and the SEC and all the regulators in the United States basically crying wolf and blaming Binance and CZ for, selling unregistered securities, and the list goes on and on. Obviously, they've been around for the longest amount of time as the biggest crypto exchange in the world. So I don't think the SEC is going to get away with it, but nonetheless, it has heavily impacted the business on Binance. But then again, Binance is the most fortunate crypto exchange with the most resources and what we like to call a war chest to battle against the SEC. So we'll see who wins. We already know that the Grayscale versus the SEC case, the SEC took a loss. XRP versus the SEC, Ripple XRP, SEC also took a loss. And it seems like with the Coinbase lawsuit against Brian Armstrong, the CEO of the largest crypto exchange in the United States, the SEC may also take a loss. So we'll see how Crypto Choke Point 2.0 continues moving further. And if you had to choose a particular crypto exchange, which crypto exchange do you trust the most to do business with? Let me know in the comments right down below. And now let's break down our next story of the day. Speaking of exchanges, Bybit could no longer do business in the United Kingdom, in the UK. Let's break this baby down, shall we? Dubai headquartered crypto exchange Bybit has announced the suspension of services to the UK in response to pending rules from the country's Financial Conduct Authority, known as the FCA. In a September 22nd announcement today, Bybit said it will start suspending services to UK residents by October 1st, which is a few weeks out, virtually a week and a half, by no longer allowing new account apps. This move will be followed by the suspension of new deposits, new contracts, and changes to positions for existing users on October 8th. So there you have it. You have been warned. Stop doing business with Bybit, especially if you're in the UK, as they're going to be freezing everything. Quoting them here, in light of the UK Financial Conduct Authority's introduction of new rules regarding marketing and communications by crypto businesses, Bybit has made a choice to embrace the regulation proactively and pause our services in the market. Smart, as they don't want to go against that, then they could be caused to get some serious legal issues. Bybit's date to wind down its services will fall on the FCA's deadline for crypto asset firms marketing to users in the UK to be in compliance with certain rules aimed at providing clear, fair, and not misleading market regimes. The FCA first announced the rules in June and issued an additional warning yesterday, September 21st, reminding the firms of the October 8th deadline and the risk of criminal charges. So clearly, this is no joke. According to Bybit, the suspension of services will allow the company to focus its efforts and resources being able to best meet the regulations outlined by the UK authorities in the future. The FCA suggests that certain firms could have until January 2024 to be in compliance with the marketing rules, which would need prior approval from the regulator. Now, Bybit announced a similar winding down of services also in Canada, heads up, in May, citing recent regulatory development at the time. However, the firm expanded into new markets, which includes Kazakhstan, where it received in principle approval to operate as a crypto custody service provider back in May. So there you have it, fam. How many of you have ever used the Bybit crypto exchange before? Please do let me know. And will this impact you in any way? Anyone in the UK? Holla, let me know. Now let's break down a rumor which Nic Carter, crypto influencer, has doubled down on this theory that Bitcoin was invented by the NSA. So let's break this down, and then we'll be breaking down the latest from the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF, sending the Bitcoin price to a new parabolic all-time high of $1.5 million per coin, literally ushering in $30 trillion from the total addressable market, entering into the Bitcoin market cap. And then we'll dive into our live Q&A. And again, shout out to everyone just joining us. So here we go. This is a very interesting story. Bitcoin advocate Nic Carter had come out to reiterate his support for the theory that the U.S. National Security Agency had something to do with the creation of Bitcoin. September 15th, Iris Energy co-founder Daniel Roberts seemingly revived the decade-old theory on X after posting screenshots of the 1996 paper titled How to Make a Mint, the Cryptography of Anonymous Electronic Cash. The paper is one of the first known discussions of a Bitcoin-like system, which proposes using public key cryptography to allow users to make anonymous payments without revealing their identity. The footer notes show the research paper was prepared by NSA employees. Sources included cryptography expert Kazuaki Nakamoto, who co-invented the Nakamoto public key crypto system in 1998. Now, on September 21st, yesterday, Carter, a partner at Castle Island Ventures, doubled down his support for the notion, stating, "I actually do believe this," before adding the following, "I call it the Bitcoin lab leak hypothesis. I think it was a shuttered internal R&D project, which one researcher thought was too good to follow on the shelf and chose to secretly release." Now, Carter has actually held the theory for several years, proposing back in 2020, a Bitcoin was written by NSA cryptographers as a monetary bioweapon, if you will. The code escaped those sensitive confines. Does that make it a virus that escaped from a lab? And in 2021, he stated the only decent thing the NSA ever did from the world was let Bitcoin leak from the lab, which he announced here on Twitter. Now, very interesting, right? Now, he went on to say that this doesn't imply that the United States government secretly controls all of the Bitcoin. Another theory that often piggybacks on the Bitcoin NSA conspiracy theory, which suggests the NSA created a backdoor to the Bitcoin code, quoting him here. "In my version of this made-up idea, the researcher did it without permission of the NSA and chose to leave the coins behind so as to preserve his autonomy." Now, there is a ton of other circumstantial evidence which supports this theory, he added. Meanwhile, some users drew attention to one of the cryptography academics, Tusakuki Akamoto, my apologies if I'm butchering these names, fam, listed in the 1996 paper, very similar to Satoshi Nakamoto. The name could have been used as inspiration for Satoshi. That's not really a critical part of the theory, though, he said. Meanwhile, Matthew Pines, director of intelligence at cybersecurity firm Krebs Stamos, believes that it is most likely a cross-fertilization of NSA crypto nerds and cypherpunk nerds, adding the following, "I suspect Satoshi had close NSA work associations, but I don't think Bitcoin itself or the white paper were officially sanctioned." We also have former Goldman Sachs executive Raoul Pal, the macro guru, who previously shared his own theory in an interview with Impact Theory earlier this year. Here's what Raoul Pal shared. "I think the US government and the UK government invented it, which is the NSA and the GCHQ in the UK, who are the two world centers of cryptography." And then in August, Cointelegraph did a deep dive into the conspiracy theory and interviewed former NSA cryptanalyst Jeff Mann, who said that while it was feasible that the NSA could have created Bitcoin as a means to gather intelligence about its enemies, it is highly doubtful. However, he also concluded that even if they did, it is likely we'll never find out the real story behind the world's most popular digital asset until it doesn't matter anymore. Very interesting, to say the least. Here's what we know as fact. Regardless if it was inspired or created out of the NSA, nobody controls Bitcoin, including the US government, including any government of the world, and including the NSA. So you got to be thankful for that, regardless where it was birthed from. But what are your thoughts? What are your theories? Please let me know in the comments right down below. And as I mentioned earlier, we'll be reading everyone's comments out loud at the end of the show. Now let's discuss the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF, which is on everyone's mind right now. If we get the approval from the SEC and Mr. Gensler, this can help usher in literally $30 trillion into the Bitcoin market cap. Now, with the Bitcoin market cap currently sitting at roughly $500 billion, we're talking about literally 60x from here. Now, if the price action did a 60x, I mean, we're in the ballpark of $1.5 million per coin. So let's break this baby down, shall we? I'm going to actually be sharing multiple predictions with you here. The number of regulatory requests to offer a spot Bitcoin ETF coming from a range of institutional financial firms has led to bullish speculation to remain remarkable excitement for the crypto market, to say the least, as the US SEC considers such filings from BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, controlling $10 trillion in assets under management. We have Fidelity, they control $4.5 trillion. We have ARK Invest, Kathy Wood's company, plus so much more. So it seems like at least one upcoming approval will come in a matter of time. The SEC is set to hit its next set for deadlines for the approval decisions mid-October, knowing October is only a week and a half out. So investors are left to speculate about which firm might receive the approval first. So let me know your thoughts. How many of you think that the Bitcoin ETF approval could get the green light as soon as October, which is the next deadline? Let me know. I think more than likely Gensler is going to kick the can down the road until next year, as they seem to be doing that since the inception of Bitcoin ETFs have been accepted or submitted to the SEC. They've been declining them literally for over a decade now. So more than likely, I think it's to get the approval next year, right before the halving, creating the perfect storm. But let me know your thoughts, fam. Now, Mark Yusko, Chief Investment Officer of the Managing Director hedge fund Morgan Creek Capital, is picking BlackRock for the first to get the green light, quoting him here. I believe, and I've said multiple times, that BlackRock will be the first one. Yusko said during a recent appearance on the Paul Barron Network, I might even go stronger and say they might be the only one. It's certainly possible. Do you think BlackRock will get that monopoly? Let me know, fam. What's probably more likely is BlackRock first, then a Gap, and then some number of others. But the thing is, whoever is first is going to get the vast majority of assets. I think he makes a great point. Now, Yusko's prediction that BlackRock will receive the first mover advantage in offering a spot Bitcoin ETF leads him to believe the product will capture the lion's share of the $30 trillion currently managed by the firms that would seek Bitcoin exposure through a regulated ETF product. Now, even given that so much Bitcoin is locked into wallets that may never be accessed again or sitting in the hands of hyper-convicted hodlers who won't sell, Yusko went on to make a bold prediction for how much institutional capital will impact the Bitcoin price. He put a dollar figure for a free float Bitcoin, the amount of Bitcoin that is readily available to the market at just $100 billion. Quoting Yusko here, I believe the ETF will be approved sometime around year end. That will pave the way for a very large influx of capital. Let's say 1/10 of 1% of the predicted 30 trillion comes in. That's $30 billion, and 30 billion on 100 billion. What will the price be? Yusko added that Bitcoin's upcoming reward halving event, when the Bitcoin rewards that miners receive is programmatically cut in half, will create conditions of a parabolic price increase, leading to be decidedly bullish price target. There is a built-in mechanism, he says, to drive the price higher. Every halving has added a zero, he explained, adding that he thinks the effect of this next halving will be relatively muted, but can still drive the Bitcoin price exponentially. That gives us about $150,000 per Bitcoin or something like that. Well, let's dive more specifically into 30 trillion being unlocked into the market. Now, again, if we were to 60x the current Bitcoin price and market cap, we're talking about a $1.5 million Bitcoin price action. So Eric Balchunas, he is the Bloomberg ETF head analyst, FYI. He believes that the 30 trillion worth of capital could be made available to the Bitcoin market if a spot Bitcoin ETF is approved, the same as Mark Yusko, which I just covered. The analyst stated that a spot Bitcoin ETF can serve as a bridge between the Bitcoin market and an impressive amount of capital. That's right. When asked why the approval of a spot Bitcoin ETF in the US would be a big deal, Balchunas stated that financial advisors and the old generation of investors prefer their investments delivered in an ETF, a format that they are more familiar and comfortable with. Quoting Balchunas here, ETF is the format in which the boomers and the financial advisors prefer their investments delivered, and this matters because financial advisors manage about $30 trillion worth of assets. Now, a major talking point in some crypto investment circles, the spot Bitcoin ETF is yet to be approved by the SEC. In fact, over the past decade, the regulator rejected as many as 30 spot Bitcoin ETFs from firms such as Gemini, Fidelity, WisdomTree, etc. However, Balchunas notes the odds of approval in the next year have increased to about 50%. And he actually went on since then and said there is a 95% chance of that spot Bitcoin ETF approval in 2024. He attributed this to the recent filing by BlackRock, sharing that the high-level asset manager, which holds roughly 10 trillion in assets under management, is very smart, and they don't just throw filings out willy-nilly. They clearly see something out there that they think can get through to the regulators. And commenting on when we are likely to hear from the SEC, obviously that next deadline is October. Let me know, fam, if you feel it's likely to get pushed back once again. Now let's discuss the BlackRock and Coinbase deal, not even the ETF, but just the BlackRock Coinbase deal, sending the Bitcoin price parabolic to 773,000 per coin, according to crypto analyst Invest Answers, as well as Dan Shapiro. So let's break this down, how they arrive at this number. If BlackRock puts 0.5% of their assets under management into Bitcoin, using my multiplier, which is 21x, that will impact the market cap by 1 trillion, which will add about $75,000 to the Bitcoin price. Now, taking it to 98,000 and an ROI from today's price is 326%. This is very, very achievable. Now, if they allocate just 1%, which of course will take time to get to that level, level, that would add about 2.1 trillion to the market cap. So $150,000 to the price would take the future price of Bitcoin to 173,000, which is a 652% gain from here. And if they add 5%, which is what Dan Tapiero says, I think it is way too aggressive, but maybe over time, maybe in the next 3 to 5 years, that could be possible. That would take the price of Bitcoin to $773,000 per coin in the next 3 to 5 years pretty easily. I mean, the numbers don't lie. What are your thoughts, fam? Now, the chart that got BlackRock excited about the partnership with Coinbase is right here, quoting him, "No bigger a macro opportunity for BlackRock than acting to facilitate the Bitcoin adoption. A 5% shift in BlackRock assets is $500 billion. That's greater than the Bitcoin value today. A catalyst for a path to $250,000 plus Bitcoin post Bitcoin halving is becoming clear." And these predictions were made at the end of last year before BlackRock submitted this recent application to the SEC for a spot Bitcoin ETF, only making it that much more bullish. What are your thoughts, fam? Let me know where you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go and which spot ETF application do you feel is most likely to get approved first. Let me know your thoughts in the comments right down below. And if you gain value out of today's show, be sure to smash that like button as it helps out tremendously with the YouTube algorithm. And make sure to hit the bell icon, turn on all notifications, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel as I greatly appreciate each and every one of your support. What up, everyone in the live chat? TGIF, thank God it is Friday, right, fam? Gone 1848, welcome. Felix Hopkins, what it do? McLovin, passive income with AI. What's good, Matthew J? Digital Dankness, shout out to our mods. Matthew, what up? Black Swan, the Don, Bitcoin, Trini, Barry, BTC, Jeff S, Wildcard Crypto, what's good? Good to see the fam. Knox Bill, Chris D, what it do? Welcome, welcome. Everyone saying hello in that chat. I'm actually broadcasting live from Puerto Rico. You guys let me know where you're tuning in from. Huddle Mike tuning in from Michigan. Shout out to Michigan and Detroit. 8 Mile, what up? Austin, Texas, back in the building. Shout out to Steve Randall. Says second day live podcast. Took 2 weeks before I could join the live. Damn, it feels good to be a gangsta. Love this podcast. Much love and respect to Steve Randall. Appreciate your support. Appreciate you tuning in. Digital Dankness, always a pleasure, family. Robert Brady, the calm before the storm. Let's freaking go. You know it's on. Game on. It's going to be a fireworks show for sure. Thank you, fam. Like your article notes. I believe the deadline for ARK ETF will trigger all the ETFs to be approved in January. I hope you're right, considering January is right around the corner. Send it. Let's go. New all-time highs, price discovery mode. I'm ready. Who's ready with me? Send it. We're all in the valley, getting ready to storm the mountain to the peak. Wish you all the best. Keep fighting for your financial freedom. Sage Advice TI, appreciate the support. Tim's Crypto, much love, much respect. Appreciate the support. Knoxville in the building. LFC Liverpool Film Club. Shout out to Tony Jeffries in the room. Appreciate you tuning in each and every day. I see a lot of familiar faces. McLovin, what it do? Black Swan, the Don. I got Bitcoin. That always improves my day. Love to hear that. Music to my ears, McLovin. Press that like button. Thanks for the reminder. Black Swan Don. Punchy Coffee, what it do? Appreciate you tuning in. The podcast is 7 days a week. That's an excellent question, Steve. He says, are you guys live 5 days a week? 7 days a week. I've been going live virtually every single day. Yeah, I mean, this is podcast episode number 1409. So you do the math. I've been doing this show. I believe I created the channel back in 2018. The bear market after 2017 was the most explosive year I've experienced in Bitcoin. I saw the Bitcoin price action when I came into crypto. Bitcoin was roughly $1,500 a coin. And by the end of the year, we surpassed 19,000, almost capping off at 20,000, setting the stage for a new high for that cycle. Then, as we all know, we had a bear market in 2018 and 2019, 2020, a big crash after COVID. Bitcoin dropped from like 7-8 grand all the way to 3,500. Everyone wrote it off. And lo and behold, by the end of 2021 in November, we hit the all-time high of $69,000 per coin, which is the current high. So to enter price discovery mode again, we need to surpass 69,000, virtually meaning hitting that 70,000 price level. I personally feel that will become a reality sometime next year in 2024, as next year is a big year for Bitcoin. Unprecedented times ahead of us. We have a Bitcoin halving, and we also have the Bitcoin spot ETF approval, most likely going to be occurring in 2024, if not by next month, as the next deadline is October. But like I said, more than likely, I feel it'll get pushed back as long as they potentially can, giving their buddies on Wall Street the opportunity to continue stacking those sats on the low. And if you don't know, now you know. So yeah, that's what's up. Yes, so 7 days a week, fam, to answer your question. George Perlog, what up? JV is a truly dedicated soldier in this information war. Appreciate what you do. Thank you, fam. Doug Joseph in the building. Let's go. Send it. Yeah. Ellen, good to see you. How you guys doing? Doing fantastic. Harry Singh, welcome. We're on. Hola, JV. Hola, Andy Surfer. Appreciate your support. We got Raul San Miguel. Hola. Hola, fam. What it do? I believe that Satoshi is Chainlink CEO, Sergey Nazarov. Okay, Ellen, I have to look into that. I never looked into that theory personally. Anyone else agree with that? That Satoshi may be identified as Sergey, the CEO of Chainlink? Please let me know. CMG says, let's freaking go. El Professor, Bitcoin ETF. ETH ETF will create $10 trillion market cap. Well, what are we waiting for? Come on, regulators, get with it. Chris says, I quit oil pens for a week, couldn't take it anymore, relieving the stress. Well, hopefully you tuning in to Crypto News Alerts Live helps you with some of that stress. You know what I mean? We all need to get over to Rumble. I am about done with YouTube after this Russell Brand crap. That's right, he got demonetized on YouTube, and the powers that be from the BCC also hit up Rumble CEO, and they said, are you going to demonetize him as well? And they said, no, we don't believe in that. We believe in free speech, and I agree. So that's why it's important to also be following me on Rumble as a backup. If you're only following me on YouTube, we are on Rumble at rumble.cryptonewsalerts.net. In fact, I stream simultaneously live in both places, as we're using Rumble as a backup account. And if you're only streaming on backup or watching the stream on Rumble, then I encourage you to come join us on YouTube as well, so you can be plugged into both, and I greatly appreciate that. Just waiting for October. I understand Knoxville, smashed and tuning in from Clearwater. I'm grateful to be here. Thank you, JV and fam. Thank you, DCA Bitcoin No Alts. I appreciate it. TI, what peeps, and JV, God bless you in your financial freedom journey. Appreciate that. October markets are going to be all over the place, says Ellen. Chester, Death Cross is irrelevant to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is nothing like mankind has ever seen. None of the accumulated TA in our history matters. I mean, you make a great point, Jester. Thank you for sharing. Knoxville says Argentina needs Javier Milei. That's what's up. Hopefully he becomes the next president and they adopt Bitcoin as a legal tender, and Max does his thing in Buenos Aires, and Orange pills the future president. That would be a game changer, to say the least. As we know, Max is the senior Bitcoin advisor for the one and only President Nayib Bukele. Also want to invite everyone tuning in to join our Crypto News Alerts Discord fam. It could be found at discord.cryptonewsalerts.net. We have some fantastic channels for you to join and be a part of. Dankness asked a question here, which is good this morning. What considerations should investors and regulators take into account as Bitcoin's valuation approaches levels that were once considered speculative? I mean, investors should consider that anything can happen. Hence why you're an investor. You're investing into something you believe in. But at the end of the day, be prepared for all scenarios. Naturally, the Bitcoin network continues to get stronger as the hash rate continues to print new all-time highs. The difficulty will continue to automatically be adjusted. And I truly do believe that Bitcoin is on its own vector. And over the long haul, the Bitcoin price is guaranteed to go up in purchasing power, as the purchasing power of the dollar is mathematically guaranteed to continue going down. If you want to take a look at the chart, Bitcoin versus the US dollar, that tells everything. There hasn't been a single long-term Bitcoin hodler hodling their Bitcoin position for 4 years or longer in the red, which virtually means Bitcoin is a long-term investment that is life transforming if you're willing to put in the hodl, right? If you're unwilling to sell your crypto via weak hands to Jamie Dimon, JP Morgan Chase, BlackRock, Fidelity, ARK, MicroStrategy, and the list goes on and on. Fantastic question. Appreciate you asking. And yeah, hopefully Javier Milei wins the race. I'm praying. Preaching the holy gospel of Satoshi. Thanks, JV. You're very welcome. De nada, yo. Yes, I like Milei running in Argentina. He is smart and tough. Exactly what we need in a president. Smart and tough. The complete opposite of the president in the United States. Wouldn't you agree? Good day, JV. Good day, Cryptic Sniper. The proof of reserves are off by 25%, says Will. Jester, Bitcoin is a completely different animal. Yes, Bitcoin is the king, says Ellen. What's going on, Trini? Good to see you. Appreciate you tuning in. It's my birthday today. Everyone wish Bitcoin Trini a very happy birthday. He's been tuning into the show. He or she, I don't even know, but been tuning into the show for a very, very long time. So everyone, please wish the happy birthday to Bitcoin Trini. We appreciate your support. Much love. Happy birthday. A lot of happy birthday wishes. Love to hear that. Sergey invented Bitcoin. He is a genius, says Ellen. So she is completely sold that he is the inventor. So are you saying that that is Satoshi, Sergey? Or do you believe that Satoshi is made up of a collective of multiple individuals, maybe Hal Finney and others? Please let me know your thoughts. Chris says, when will gas be $10 a gallon, guys, in the U.S.? How many years? Oh, boy. When I first started driving, I remember when I was 16 or however old I was in Florida, I remember gasoline was under $1 a gallon. It was like 90 something cents. And now it's like insanity seeing these prices across the world, as oil will probably continuously go up as the dollar continues to hyperinflate. Unfortunately, Jesus doesn't need money, says Chris, word up. He is a top G. He used C++, and he is a super smart math whiz, says Ellen. This is all smoke and mirrors by the SEC. The World Economic Forum and big banks that are running the current fiat Ponzi all own Ethereum, XRP, and the ish coins. Bitcoin is our only hope. Great point, Matthew. I'm glad you brought that up. All are the low-key nerds in here. I mean, if you're watching this on a daily basis, you are a low-key Bitcoin nerd, but I think that's a great thing. I think that's a good thing. You know what I mean? I am an undercover nerd, says McLovin. Word, I just realized my moniker says full of nerd, or full on nerd. Word, moniker, had to look that one up. Brace yourself, fool, says Chris. $1.5 million Bitcoin, send it, let's go, says Knoxville. I hope we can keep it low for a while. More time for us plebs to stack. How many of you agree with Matthew J? You'd love the Bitcoin price action to continue to be suppressed so you can continue stacking sats on the low before this parabolic ascent next year, with the Bitcoin halving scheduled to take place in April of 2024, roughly only 6 months out. Let me know, because if you're not prepared, you're going to be left in the dust sitting on the sidelines with the rest of the bears. And as you know, when it's bull season, it's hunting season on the bears. Just saying. Gensler is going to do what's best for BR per their instructions. Basically, 2024, 2025 is going to be insane. Let's keep the 2023 low and slow. Barry in the building. What up? There are around 1.8 million Bitcoin on the exchanges. That's right. Supply shock is really coming this cycle for the first time ever, which is hard to even imagine. That's right. We're entering in unprecedented territory for the King crypto. We have a supply shock incoming. If we get that Bitcoin ETF spot approval in the United States, these big asset managers are going to need to be holding on to the underlying asset. So with there only roughly being 1.8 million of the Bitcoin supply available, that can legitimately create a real genuine supply shock, which can send the Bitcoin price parabolic. You know what I mean? Stock to flow models predicting a wide gap with a range between $100,000 and $1 million per coin post 2024 halving. I think $500,000 would be the median average. So, I mean, I'd love to see a $500,000 Bitcoin price, fam. How about yourself? We shall soon see. Gaming and stacking sats. Word, or gymming. I think that means you're working out. I haven't heard that term, gymming. I thought you were talking about gaming. These influencers saying Bitcoin is too big to do a 20x or more don't understand the big picture. Bitcoin is a $500 billion asset in US fiat terms. The bonds are 300 trillion plus. That's right. The total addressable market is over $700 trillion. So someone to say Bitcoin can't 20x, they obviously know nothing about Bitcoin. They haven't watched Bitcoin go up over 20 million x over the past decade. So they don't know what they're talking about. If an asset class has gone up tens of millions of percent, like literally over 20 million percent in the past decade, you don't think it can go up another 20x? Are you absolutely crazy? What are you thinking? What are you smoking? Whatever it is, I mean, you may want to puff pass, just saying. Gold is 10 trillion, stocks 100 trillion. And Michael Saylor says the Bitcoin market cap is likely to 10x the market cap of gold. So with gold sitting at 10 trillion, he's roughly predicting the Bitcoin market cap to tap into a 100 trillion market cap, ultimately sending the Bitcoin price north of $5 million per coin. Let me know if you agree or disagree with Michael Saylor's prediction. Yeah, I would sell at 150,000, Joe. Word. Anyone trying to sell high this cycle will be mad at themselves in 10 years. I assure you that, says Matthew. Not tangible, says Felix. I'm just going to dollar cost average no matter what happens. So let's go Bitcoin, gone 1848. That's the name of the game. DCA. Keep stacking them stats. Stack stats every day. 100. World Crypto HODL. Word. Not saying it's a bad thing. I don't think anyone fully realizes how crazy things are going to get pertaining to true scarcity of Bitcoin. That's right. And never in the history of ETFs has there been an ETF with a finite limited supply. So you can't even compare the gold ETF to Bitcoin because there's never been anything remotely close to it in the history of money. You know what I mean? True scarcity is for the first time to exist, hence making it the perfect money. Not to mention it's incorruptible, it's unconfiscatable, it's borderless, and it has all the characteristics that gold offers, only it's 100 times more superior in every facet of the way. Now, other than personally owning a business or land property, nothing else is tangible unless you're talking about gold rocks and such. Can the decision come any day, or is there another deadline? The next deadline is October, so the SEC has to share their decision. I think they're likely to push it back, and then the next decision will probably be in March, right before the Bitcoin halving, which is scheduled to take place in April of 2024. Tuning in from the gym in London. That's what's up. Get that. Port Charlotte, Florida in the building. Shout out to Florida, my old stomping ground. Shout out to Amsterdam. Shout out to Barry BTC. Happy Friday, everyone. Cryptic Sniper, much love. London town. Let's go. Living a dream. Cali, Central Coast, West Side. Shout out to Jeff. Appreciate you. King JV, King Bitcoin from Washington, D.C. Much respect. OG, Back Road Crypto Bootleg. Much love. 2024 will be island hopping year. That's what's up. Edson, Plano, Texas. Love your show. Thank you, brother. Thank you, Verdson21. I appreciate you tuning in and being bullish. Perfect day. Crypto News Alerts on my morning coffee. Get it? Pumping at the gym. In the beginning, in 2021, I was learning how to read the charts and how to maneuver in the exchanges. I did not buy a lot of crypto, so glad I didn't. But today is Stack and Sats Day. Word up. My guess is January 10th, 2024, the Bitcoin ETF approval. And I guess multiple at once. Let's go. Bitcoin game theory in full effect. I am not selling JP Morgan or Jamie Dimon the shill. That's right. Don't give JP Morgan or Jamie Dimon your Bitcoin, fam. I'll sell to Jamie at $1 million a coin, says Chris. That's more like it. I don't think you're going to have to sell it at that point. You'll just be able to borrow against it. Why give them anything? When doing the Q&A, can you switch to the view that includes the Bitbo price? Yeah, 100%. I appreciate the reminder. Sometimes I just get, lazy and I forget to switch the screen. So now you can see the price is currently sitting at $26,530 at this time. You know what I mean? Let me know if that's helpful. You guys prefer this view. Also, you're going to notice a QR code. If anyone wants to zap me some sats as a donation, I do accept sats and I greatly appreciate it. You can use any Lightning wallet such as Strike if you are in the giving mood. I appreciate it. Yep, old school, 95 cents a gallon, right? That's taking it back to the old school, all right. Bitcoin Trini Paradise, Clearwater, Florida. Happy birthday wishes to the Bitcoin Trini. Look, every day I like to be a Bitcoin nerd. Word, took 7 years after the ETF for gold to top out. I don't think Bitcoin tops and dies like gold did, but I think the massive gains will greatly be reduced in the next 10 to 15 years. So you heard it first. We have another 10 to 15 years to be stacking them stats, fam. Seize the moment. Water brings life. Bitcoin brings hope. Preach. Never 100 trillion, says Chris. Be lucky to get over gold's market cap by 2030. Well, we shall soon see. I mean, there is 700 trillion in the market. I know it's hard to imagine considering that the current all-time high crypto market cap that we hit in November of 2021 was roughly $3 trillion. And if I'm not mistaken, Bitcoin surpassed the $1 trillion market cap. And right now we're $500 billion for Bitcoin's market cap. So if we went to 30 trillion, that's 60x. Can someone run the math? What's 26,500 times 60 to give us a hypothetical, allocation of where the Bitcoin valuation may be in the upcoming years? Let me know, fam, and I appreciate that very much. Michael Saylor rocks. Let's crank it up. Let's go. 20x on Bitcoin by 2030 would it be a dream come true? Well, there you have it. I use Binance. It's difficult from New York, says Ellen. It seems financially they make everything difficult in New York, being New York is the financial capital of the United States. Wishing you all a great and safe weekend. TGIF fam, this podcast show is better than Cryptos R Us. It's truth, more, and real. Thank you, Chris. It means the world to me, as I'm a fan of Cryptos R Us. George is doing a great job over there. Obviously, obviously. Chris says crypto market cap easily 10 trillion by 2027, though. That's 10x. Well, send it. I mean, crypto's market cap hitting 10 trillion, 10x. Let's hypothetically say the Bitcoin price goes up in valuation 10x. Then we're talking about a $260,000 Bitcoin price. Take that, Peter Schiff. How many of you would love to see that? A 10x price action from here this cycle. That'd be lovely. That'd be many of our dreams coming true, right? Yes, everyone have a great weekend. Michael Saylor for president. I'd say Tucker Carlson for president. Michael Saylor for president. Anyone except Joe Biden for president. I mean, anyone can be a better candidate than the current candidates. I'm just trying to say that. I mean, we do have some others obviously running as well who are pro-Bitcoin, but the likelihood of them winning is going to be rough. But yeah, we have DeSantis running as a Republican, promoting Bitcoin and also saying he's going to be anti-CBDC and not allow that into play. I don't know how much say you actually have as a president. It's more like, yeah, you think you can do all this stuff, but when you get into power, you soon realize how little control you actually have. You know what I mean? It's just the nature of the beast. True power moves in silence. I think we can all recognize that the most powerful people in the world are not in the public eye. That's by design. Don't think that the president of the United States is the most powerful man in the world. All he is a puppet that reads a script. He has a piece in his ear, similar to mine right now, and he's told what to say. And all he has to do is, like, Simon Says, repeat what someone tells him to say, and then make up things and commonly get cut off because he's just saying things he shouldn't be speaking. You know what I mean? This is the nature of reality we live in right now. I wish we had Nayib Bukele as the president. We need someone young who gets it, who understands Bitcoin and understands that CBDCs are the enslavement of humankind, and someone with the balls to stand up and go against the central banking cartels like a Javier Milei over in Argentina. We need someone with ironclad set of balls. Just saying. Let me know if you guys agree. They had an Earn program. I wish I never tried it. You were referring to Gemini Earn. Unfortunately, yeah, SEC is going after all the Earn programs. Gemini isn't very good anymore. And Dankness actually compiled the least expensive exchanges with fees. And correct me if I'm wrong, Dankness, but I think number one on that list was Kraken. So if you're looking for the lowest fees in a crypto exchange in the United States, look into Kraken. It's a great exchange. They've been around for many years as well. You know what I mean? PAGS does business in Brazil, which cut rates, which doesn't matter with the company, has no debt, and people and companies need this company to pay the bills and other services for everyday life, says Michael Anthony. My crypto is frozen on there. I don't know if I'll ever get it back. Sorry to hear that, Ellen. And again, not your keys, not your coins. That's the trade-off risk with trying to get a yield on your cryptocurrency versus self-custody. You know what I mean? Because now you don't even have access to your own funds. It's frozen, and that's a sad day for all the investors. Chris says Trump. Yeah, JB is a loser. What's JB stand for again? Oh, Joe Biden. Yes, really, that sucks, Ellen. Sorry to hear that. I'm going to vote Trump, says Ellen. Bitcoin Trini, let's freaking go. Just made my first buy on strike. Congratulations, Tim. Happy to hear that. Many more buys to go. Hope it is smooth. That's what's up. Anyways, fam, now for a recap what I covered with you here in today's show. I broke down the latest technical analysis. We also discussed breaking news. The senator who said Bitcoin can open the doors of corruption in El Salvador has been indicted for corruption by the Fed, prosecuting seizing 100,000 in gold bars and 480,000 in cash from his home. That's right. We also discussed the latest with Bitcoin blasting past its 2021 all-time high in Argentina as hyperinflation outpaces the gains. We also discussed Binance and CEO CZ asked the court to dismiss the SEC suit. Hopefully they win. We also discussed Bybit will suspend services in the UK following the financial regulators' final warning. And we also discussed very interesting theory. Nic Carter doubling down on the theory that Bitcoin was invented by the NSA. We also discussed that the largest asset manager in the world, the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF, can drive the Bitcoin price to $1.5 million per coin. But where do you feel the Bitcoin price is likely to go next? Let me know in the comments below. And if you gain value out of today's show, please smash that like button, hit the bell icon, turn on all notifications, and make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow because it is Stacking Saturday.